The single biggest thing that is getting in the way between you and having more money is simple: debt. In today's video, we are going to go through the 2 best and proven ways to eliminate your debt fast. Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is That Finance Show with me, Tom Morgan, a UK-based financial advisor and planner, and this channel is all about getting you making better decisions with your money. At the end of today's video, you are going to have 2 proven methods to choose from on how to smash your debt into submission, and I'm actually going to go through which one is my favorite and why. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm also going to be answering the question that I often get asked, which is, should I pay off my mortgage early? We human beings love debt, and we have a lot of it. Total household debt here in the UK is 1.28 trillion, and that's before the effects of COVID-19. The average debt per household is nearly 61,000. That's over 30,000 per adult. But what's even more staggering is it actually equates to about 108% of average earnings. Other than my mortgage, I have no debt. It's the best decision I made. No credit cards, no car finance, no personal loans, nothing. Now, it took a conscious decision on my part to do that and some discipline to get there, but now what it means is that any income that I earn is for me to get working as hard as possible for me, and I'm not paying it out to everyone else. When you've got debt, you've got monthly payments, and when you've got monthly payments, they are a huge drain on your income. Instead of paying everyone else, like credit card companies, car finance companies, I want you to be in a position where your income can be used to pay yourself by saving and investing for future you. This is how you'll achieve financial freedom. Deep down, you know there is no magic pill, no overnight solution, and the only way to deal with your debt is to pay it. But I'm here to tell you that you can do it, and even if you're on a low income, and I'm going to give you the tools and show you how. Now, the first thing you need to do is have a written budget. Now, I feel like I bang on a lot about budgets on this channel, but for good reason. If you've not got a budget, I've got a video here that'll take you through how to set one up really simply, but you need to find what spare cash you've got that you can throw towards tackling your debt. Now, depending on the severity of your debt issue and how quickly you want to tackle that debt, you might need to be pretty ruthless here. If you're serious about this, you're going to have to cut some of those luxury spends, eating out, fancy holidays. The more that you can do this, the quicker you will achieve your goal. Once you've done your budget, it is time to get your head out of the sand and make a list of all your debts. Write it down. You need to find out how much you owe, what the interest rate is, and what the minimum payments that you're required to make are. Here's an example. So the first thing we have is an overdraft, £2,000 balance, 15% interest rate, and we're paying £25 a month. Next, we have credit cards, £7,500, 20% interest, and we are paying £50 a month. We have a hire purchase, £3,500, 12% interest, which is costing £100 a month. A student loan, £20,000, 3% interest, £150 a month. And finally, a personal loan, £10,000, 7% interest, and £75 a month. So we've got 5 lines of debt, £43,000 is the total. We're paying an average interest rate of 11.4%, and we are currently losing £400 every single month from our income towards that debt. Now, this is not an insignificant sum, I'm sure you'll agree, and at the rate we're going, it's going to take us over 9 years to clear it, and that is long. Too long. Now, as I mentioned, there are 2 different methods that I want to show you. They are both good, they both work. I have a personal favourite, but to be honest, each of them suits a slightly different personality. So hear them both out and see which one you think fits best for you. The first method is the debt snowball. This is the method that Mr. Dave Ramsey teaches.
Oh no, Dave, I have this figured out.
And it is where you order your debt by balance, ignoring the interest rate, smallest first, like this. So we've ignored the interest rate here, and we've simply ordered our debt by smallest balance first. And what we're going to do is, whilst making the minimum required payments on all of our debt so that we don't get stuck with any late fees or arrears, we are going to target any spare cash that you've got at the smallest debt, the one at the top of the list. By doing this, we will start to knock out lines of debt very, very quickly. So once the overdraft is dealt with, we then focus our attention and move on to debt number 2, which in this example is the hire purchase, and so on and so on. So let's say we're taking this really seriously and we've managed to carve out an extra £400 a month from our budget on top of what we're already paying. It would go something like this. So the first step is to target that entire £400 extra towards the overdraft. Now we're already paying £25, so that's £425 a month we're going to start attacking at getting rid of that overdraft. And hey, in 4 or 5 months' time, that will be gone. Now what we're going to do is roll this £425 downhill, down, and start attacking the hire purchase. Now we were already paying £100 a month towards the hire purchase, so when we add our 425, we're now doing £525 a month. We're now starting to throw some serious cash at that. And what that will do is in 6 or 7 months' time, that will be gone too. 2 down, 3 to go. Let's keep this snowball rolling. We now are able to do £575 a month towards the credit cards, and in 13 months or so, these are gone too. 3 down, 2 to go. We're over halfway, and now we can focus our attention on the personal loan, and in 15 months or so, that's smashed out the park too. Another one bites the dust. We're on to the last one, and now we've got a mighty £800 a month that we can use to tackle those student loans, and in just over 2 years, those would be gone too. So we've cleared £43,000 worth of debt in this example in about 5.5 years, which is 3.5 years quicker than we would have done without taking this approach. Now, of course, you're doing all the real hard work here, making these monthly payments. All this approach does is give you a structure to work towards, but it really does help you start to knock out lines of debt very, very quickly. This is the snowball effect of the money running downhill and gobbling up those debts on the way. I wasn't going to say gobbling, but I've said it now. Now, this method helps you see results quicker. Notice in that example, we knocked out a line of debt in a matter of a few months. So this method is really, really useful. If you're somebody that's tried before to tackle your debt and perhaps lost focus and given up, this is a more emotionally satisfying way of doing it, so you can start to see results quickly. So that might be for you. Now, the second method is the debt avalanche, and this is actually my preferred method. It works very much in the same way, but instead of ordering your debts by smallest balance first, you're actually going to order them highest interest rate first. Mathematically speaking, this is the best approach. It will see you spend less in interest over time. However, you don't quite get the quick wins that you do with the snowball approach. So some people can become discouraged and lose focus using this method. So have a think about your own personality and what might suit you best. But for the debt avalanche solution, it might look something like this. So as you can see, all we've done here is now reordered our debts by highest interest first. We're going to tackle them in exactly the same way as we did with the snowball method. Start at the top and work down in exactly the same way. So in this example, we're now going to actually start with the credit cards. By doing this, you will create an avalanche effect and knock out those debts for good. So those are the two methods, but how might you actually speed up the process even more? Well, to do so, you'd simply need to throw more money at it. And to do that, you either need to be stricter with your budget, cut more of those luxuries to find more cash, or find a way to boost your income, be that a second job, an extra shift, a side hustle or two. Now, I said at the top of the video I would give my opinion on whether or not you should pay off your mortgage. You'll note in all of those examples there was no mention of mortgage debt, and for good reason. Mortgage debt tends to be cheap money, and by that I mean the interest rates are very low. It's not uncommon for us to be paying 2 and 3% and lower at the moment with where interest rates are. The question you need to ask yourself is, can you make your money work harder than the interest rate you are paying on your mortgage? If the answer to that question is yes, then you should do that. Make your money work harder elsewhere. If the answer to that question is no, then you should be paying off the mortgage. You aren't going to make your money work harder by leaving it in the bank and receiving barely any interest. So if that's what you tend to do, then you'd be better off paying your mortgage. However, if you were looking at other ways of investing your money, other types of assets, stocks and shares, etc., there are no guarantees with that, and of course there are risks attached, but you may feel that you might be able to make your money work harder in those environments. For me personally, not my advice to you, but my own take on this is, any debt that I have that the interest rate is sub 5%, which my mortgage is in that category certainly by quite a way at the moment, then I am happy to carry that debt and service that debt, and I make my money work harder for me elsewhere. If things changed and let's say the rate on my mortgage started pushing north of 5%, then that would start to make me change my approach. Give the video a like, drop me a comment. I'd be really interested to hear from you. Did you have a lot of debt and have you managed to smash it out? It would really help inspire people watching this video if they were to look down the comments and see some positive stories of people that have come out of a situation that looked pretty bleak. So please, if you feel comfortable, tell your story in the comments below on what debt you managed to knock out and how that's made you feel and plan going forward. Please consider subscribing to the channel. We put a new video out every single week. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye. I'm here, blah, blah, blah. That you can do it, even, you know, blah. The more that you can do this, the more seriously that you'll tell net 20% and we're 50. Interest rate 15% and we're £50 a month. No, not £50. Look at your own example, Tom. A student this first one in the queue. By doing this, we will knock out. So let's say we're taking this. Now the second method is actually called the, what's it called? What is it called? Anyone know? Now the second method is, oh, this is like being an anchor man. Sometimes take a, mathematically speaking, this is the best approach. It will see you. Hiya!